Welcome, sketchbook heroes and sketchbook warriors. It's been a while, but here we are. I've got some resources for you, and let's just jump into it. Let's not waste time. Definitely, always have to just jump into this. This is a drawing done by one of our students, Leanna Griffin. Very nice work. I don't know if I want me to cut that out, but here we go. Sharing. All right, so we have how to draw cool stuff and how to sketch and draw anything. So these are two links that I got these books from PDF drive. So here's the PDF drive link. If you click on that, there's the how to draw cool stuff. And you can get a bunch of other art books and stuff from PDF. There are some little maneuvering thing you have to go through there because I know there's some links and stuff that you might. So if you don't want to bother with that, I did download them and I uploaded them to my drive, so you can download them there or that, which is a lot safer. So to get to that, let me show you how to get to that. I just had it right now. It is, oh, is that it? Oh yeah, back here. Let's go back. There it is. So I'm going to give you this link. This link will take you to these two links. These two yellow links are the ones you can download. Okay, so all right. Somebody's having technical problems and they're going to be right back. All right, so there's the links. I'll probably have to put them up again. That's the link to my page here, and this is how to draw cool stuff. And this is what we're going to be drawing tonight. So let's go to that. How to draw cool stuff. I really like this book. It has a lot of neat, cool stuff in it, which makes it really exciting. The only trouble I have with it is that it does not go consecutively, so it does produce some challenges. And that's fine. You should take on challenges. I do like to simplify stuff and make things easy, but you got to step outside of your comfort zone. So there's the elements of design, which I totally push. And I'm just going through the book, and they have these exercises here. You can see this page here, elements of design, which is great there. And then understand, do shading shapes, and that really jumps into shapes. Shading, like I always say, is something you can wait on. And not really worry about till later. What's really your focus should be is learning to see shapes, and you can see the shapes here, and then seeing form. Here's these rectangle shapes, and then form is the cube. And the two most basic or important forms are the cube and the sphere. And as the shapes go, it's the circle and the square. So really interesting stuff, really good exercises in these books. So we're not going to be doing all of them. I'll be going through this and as a resource, so you can see it. You can see some cross hatching here, really nice. And you can see value studies. That was Leanna's drawing she showed right now. You can see studying values, because that's what's the darkest you can get is your pencil, and the lightest you can get is white, and everything else is in between. And then the next step after that element is color, but seeing value is more important than color, because color can just go in right afterwards. Here we go, line quality. That's a nice little bird. All these little exercises on each of these pages. It's how many pages? It's 260 pages. We're barely on page 23 here. So there's a lot of stuff here. Foreshortening. I would say stuff out of order. I think this is really cute here. I think I can zoom in on this. So if you want to download the book, you can. I'm going to go ahead and let me see. I think I can zoom in. There we go. Zoom in. I'm going to zoom in on this. I think I can zoom in some more. There we go. Zoom in on the rabbit. We'll draw the rabbit. We are starting off simple. We do start off simple. I'd like to start off simple, and then we go to more complex stuff. We are changing our format a little bit this next round. We are going to go for an hour of drawing, and then we're going to go take an hour break, and then we're going to go to more advanced stuff. But the more advanced stuff, we're just really going to be more of a hangout. We're just going to hang out and draw and share, and I don't know we'll see how that goes. I want to change up the format a little bit. I'd like to get into my own stuff, and maybe we can just all work together and draw. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start off with this. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the chat. Let's screenshot this. It's getting back into the groove of things here. There we go. I'm going to select that, capture it, and put it in the chat so that little rabbit is in the chat. And here we go. Let's jump into this. All right. So don't worry about materials. They are important, but when you're first learning to draw, really, you can use anything to draw. Anything. All right, here we go. Blank sheet of paper.
So we are supposed to spend about approximately an hour on this rabbit?
No, we're going to be drawing other things, but you can
Okay.
draw this rabbit, and you can go through the book if you want. If I'm going too slow, you really have to, find your own pace.
Mhm.
I am going to start slow and then we'll speed up. Okay. Um, I can block everything in. I know that the rabbit is almost like a circle shape in here. So I'm going to block it all out. So if you want to follow along to how I'm going to block it out, I'm going to block it out. So the rabbit is going to go right about here. And that includes the cheeks and the head. So it's about a circle shape for the cheeks and the head. That's where that's going to go. And then behind that is an ellipse. The ellipse goes about the middle. The name of the book again is How to Draw Cool Stuff. And let me put it in the chat again. Here it is. Oh, that's not it. Oh, here, I'll put that in the chat again too. It doesn't look the same because oh no, there it goes. That's it. And then the book, let me see. Here we go. I know you came in late. All right, I'll put it in the chat again. Chattanooga. All right, that's actually that goes straight to the drive, and that goes straight to the book. And there's another book too that we're going to be getting to later. So here's the circle for the head, the rabbit. I'm really looking at the big stuff. Don't worry about the detail. Don't worry about the detail. The rabbit is in a hat, so the hat kind of goes. It's an oval or an ellipse shape. Comes out this much and comes down this much in here. So if we draw the axis line, actually the axis line should probably be right below the circle. And then let's see, are we getting it? Yeah, here we go. And then down here we go. That's the axis line, right about that space. You can see the relationship. So when we draw, we use wrap to draw. We look at the ratios. So the ratios is the height to the width. It's I would probably say a little bit more than twice as long. So if you can fit two squares, see it's twice as long, and then you can see that circle shape and how it relates to that oval shape. Okay, and then we have almost like a square shape below it for the hat. Okay, and these are vertical lines, and it's almost like a square shape. So if you go see the width from here to here, and then bring that down, that's the bottom of the hat. Now the bottom of the hat is rounded. A lot of my students would straighten it out, but you need to round it because it is a round cylinder. So this is a basic form, really basic form, keeping it simple. But even though we're going from shape to form, that's already second level. So if you're taking on this challenge, awesome. Awesome. But this is already formed. All right. So here we go. There's the hat. There's the rabbit head. All right. And I can probably fix this a little bit, making it more symmetrical. Looks like it's a little pushed in right here. So I can make it a little bit more. This one is a little more pointy, but it should go around all the way. And you can see how I just fixed it. And I haven't used any eraser. I'm just drawing a little bit darker as I go through here and fix it. All right. And then inside that circle is another circle, another ellipse or oval. And this is the thickness of the hat, which is interesting. It should actually be up to here, but I can see in the drawing it actually goes a little bit wider. A little trick there. And this is the inside of the brim where the rabbit's going to be, and the rabbit's going to have one set of hands here and another set of hands over here. And notice I just draw the big shapes. I'm drawing the big shapes. This is the hand all together. Even though there's like 3 circles or ovals, I can see the big shapes there. I'm just looking at the big shapes. All right, so that's what you want to do. You want to see the big shapes. Don't worry about the detail. And this is almost like the framework. This is the framework we're looking at. So we've got our circle, then we've got our oval, and then we've got our, let me spotlight myself so make sure we got other people here. Spotlight for everyone. There we go. That's probably better too for Ellen. I know she was having trouble. Okay, so there we go. I think I pretty much blocked the major parts in. Still need to make the ears flow in. So we've got one ear that flows in right in here at the head. The head is, I would probably say inside there. So I'm gonna just let that ear kind of flow up. And it's about the size of the head. The ear, here's the head, and then the ear is about that size. And then you've got the other ear coming out here. The head's right in there. And then you've got the other ear kind of flopping over, coming down right in here, right in there. in that space. Flopping over. Okay. And then we've got the magic wand. There's a little bit of foreshortening on this magic wand, which means as it gets closer or lower, it gets a little bit wider. There's a little bit of an angle change. There's just really slight, which adds to the illusion of depth. And it's facing us. So why don't we start with that? Why don't we zoom in on that, and then we'll do the head. So let's go on that. Let me zoom out real quick so make sure everybody checks their work. See, we've got everything kind of blocked out. We've got the hat, which is about the same height, same width. We've got the brim, which is about twice as wide, more than twice as wide than it is tall. Then we've got the circle head that's in there. It's going to be 3 circles inside of that. And then we've got that magic wand right there. Let's zoom in, and now we can go darker and more bold as we build our confidence. You know, it's you know, when you're first starting drawing or anything, you got to trust the process, and we're going from big to small. Build your confidence, build the trust in what we're doing. So we're starting off with a circle that's facing us, and this is another cylinder shape, this wand, and it goes back into space. It's coming up at us, and it gets a little bit wider as it gets closer to us here. And as it goes further back, just a little slightly thinner. And that's perspective. And then the back end is rounded. And then this back end is also rounded right in here like this. And then the whole, I guess, oh, there's another one right in here. I'll put it right about there. I'm trying to watch out for any tangents, because I know the brim of the hat is going to be there. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. Put them in the chat. This is a really thinned out cylinder. Okay, so let's really quickly cover the cylinder while you're working on that. A cylinder is that oval, or it could be a circle here because it's really facing us. And then it just straight on the sides, unless it has perspective. And then the bottom also echoes the top. And usually, well, if you really get technical, it would go wider because it's lower. It's lower. So this is closer to our eye level, and this is lower. So it's actually a little bit wider down here. But we don't have to get that technical unless we start getting more advanced. And there's our cylinder. This is our basic, one of our basic forms. It could be a can. It could be all kinds of stuff. A magic wand. That's the magic of this shape and form. All right, so we've got that cylinder. One side I'm going to shade a little bit. Actually, I'm going to shade everything on that center part. I'm going to shade it all just slightly. That gets my first shade. And then I'm going to shade it the bottom half. So it looks like the light's hitting it. So I'm going to cut it in half. Draw it in a line right down the middle. And then the bottom half, I'm going to shade it. So it's the shadow side. That's the shadow side. So it starts making it a little bit rounder, kind of like I did here on this one. I'm just shading one side. And then I can actually shade a little bit lighter where the white part of that wand is. And if I have a little bit of reflected light, you can see I didn't shade all the way. It looks like there's a little bit of reflected light. There we go. That's good. A nice little basic wand. There's our wand. Now let's do the bunny, the rabbit, silly rabbit. Here we go. So the head is not quite circle. It's a little bit not as wide. It's taller than it is wide. Then we've got the cheeks. We've got these 2 big cheeks right down the center. So it is symmetrical. So if you draw a center symmetrical line, that kind of helps. That really helps, having that line of symmetry. And we've got 2 big cheeks that kind of come off the nose. Let's get the nose in there, actually. Let's get the nose. The nose has a rounded top, and it kind of comes down as a triangle, kind of like right in that center. Right in that center. So rounded top, and then it comes down to the center. And it also has a highlight. So we're going to try to keep that highlight. It just goes a little bit of like a little oval, and then around it is shaded. We're shading around it. Wow, what a nice compliment. Somebody saying that I helped save them from COVID or not. I wish. That would be a real sketchbook hero. But we're sketchbook warriors.
It's very true.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for the compliment. Yeah, it's you know, it's drawing is something that can get your mind off of stuff and or actually can help you face things too. It can help you face and think about things. So it really depends on where your focus is. It's all about that focus. Focus. If things are out of focus, what are you focusing on? Right. And that's the power of focus. All right. So we've got the nose done. Kind of looks like a little diamond shape. We're going to get these eyes in here. They're little rounded shapes that kind of come around here. Oops. There's one and two. I'm not making them exact. It's all right. It's all good. And there we go. There's two circles. One's bigger than the other. They should be symmetrical. I'm not, it's okay. Things aren't always perfect. All right, here we go. And then the eyes. The eyes are in the lower half. The pupils, actually. There's a little pupil here. And then another pupil here. It looks surprised. Magic. Oh man, I grew up doing magic tricks. I was yeah, I was a kid of wonder. I was curious and wondered, and how does this work? How does that work? All right, so let's get these cheeks in here, right down the middle, and then go around. There we go. There's one cheek. And then another cheek. Get it to fit. If you can get it symmetrical, that's fine. We got our line of symmetry. You can measure here, measure across. I'm not doing it exactly symmetrical, which is okay. Gives it some character. Happy happy mistakes. It's been a while. And then we've got a chin. We've got a little chin. Chin, just the chin goes in there like that. Happy little rabbit. And he's got some whiskers. I usually wait for the detail for last, but since we're here already, we can just put three little whiskers. 1, 2, and 3 on one side, and then 3 on the other. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. All right, there's the face. It could be a cat, could be all kinds of stuff, but the ears really make it into a rabbit. Yeah, we've got that rabbit. So let's get the head back in there. The top of the
Oh,
head.
your rabbit's almost identical to the picture.
Yeah, a little bit. Thank you. And then oh, I can see here though it was off, so I can make that adjustment. The ear needs to be a little bit higher, it needs to be in here. And that's good because I drew it lightly. And here we go. I'm going to put the ear as it gets wider as it comes up. So this is not exactly a beginner drawing. It's kind of basic, but it's I would probably call it advanced beginner. Because a real beginner would have like really basic shapes. There's some really good stuff out there. And I've been meaning to get all those resources together for everybody, but it's been quite a ride. It's been quite a ride. Oh my gosh, my world turned upside down for the last few months. It was unbelievable, unbelievable. It became a, a drama, Jerry Springer kind of.
Oh no.
I know.
And somehow you found your way back here.
And I made my way back, yes. Yeah, but it's all good.
You just saying that makes me feel less alone.
Oh,
Drama everywhere.
yeah, isn't it just like, whoa, it's crazy. Your whole reality changes. It's like, oh my gosh, my whole world.
Yeah. Oh
I got a
no.
question. Do you
Yes.
believe in magic?
Do I believe in magic? I believe magic is possible. Yes. Yes. Magic. I believe in
Oh,
magic.
magic's real. The magic of us all being here.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
real
a
deal.
miracle. I mean, just it's the sounds coming out of my mouth. I mean, we're all together in space and time. It is a miracle. I mean, this just doesn't. It's not every day. It's not every planet. I mean, they've tried looking for life on other planets, and we're alone out there in space on this little blue marble. All
So
right.
far.
And so far, I know so far. But there is, yeah, I don't know. Well, we can talk about astrophysics. I love that too. It's another thing I'm interested in. All right, here we go. Let's get that other ear. Now, this other ear does do a little bit of a twist. So there's a little bit. I'll get the outline of it, the shape, and it does go wider as it comes out, and that shape. These are complex shapes. There's a lot going on in these shapes. It's more than just adding an ear. Because what I'd probably get from beginners is they would probably get like a straight line like this. But there's a thickness that happens. There's a flow. So don't do this. Try to get the thin and it going to thick, wider, and then flowing, almost like there's actually an oval in here. You can kind of see if I draw an oval in there, you can see the oval, the way that complex ear kind of goes. And then also there's a little bit of bringing it in. So if we bring it in, like right in here, the ear actually kind of comes in, and it makes it look like it's flopping over right in here, right in that part right there. See, bam. This is a small square water lilies acrylic painting. Oh, wow. With the mounting. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. I should be out more often producing more work.
Gorgeous. Wow.
We'll share in a minute. All right. All right, let's get those fingers in here. He's got, let's get the back part. So he's got a little bit of a neck and then the shoulders. There's like a shoulder kind of comes out. And then we've got the hands that are going in front. Oh, the hands that are going in front of the rabbit here. Let's start with the center. There's one little oval and then two ovals on the side. And they're going over the rim. That overlapping really makes it how artists create space. It's one of the ways. I call it space pods. We have placement. Things that are lower are closer. Things that are higher up are usually further away. So this part of the hat is lower, so it's closer. This part of the hat is higher, so it's further away. That's placement. Then you have O, which is overlapping. That's what we have here. We have an O. That's the overlapping of these hands going over the brim. Let's put one little oval. And this little oval can actually even do a little bit of overlapping here, underlapping. You see that little oval? There's some overlapping there. It goes on top of that one. And then we can put another one behind here. See, like it's kind of like attaching, almost like a letter C here. Here we go. That's a letter C, and here on this side is a backwards C, kind of attaching itself, adding to the illusion of depth and space and time. Space-time continuum. All right, and then we've got that inside. Now we can actually darken up that inside part of that hat. Hey, Rocky! Watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat. There we go. So I'm gonna darken up everything inside the hat. Now this inside of the hat, actually they have it shaded up and down. So I'm gonna try to keep it shading up and down as well. That produces some contrast with that white part of that the wand, which makes it pop. That's what makes things pop, contrast. Things are different. So here we go, darkening up all that inside part of the hat. Really makes that rabbit pop out of that hat. He's surprised. It doesn't have any eyebrows. You can add eyebrows. There's little stars and everything. And this is just one of the forms. And make sure to curve the bottom. There we go. It's from the book on how to draw cool stuff. Yep. And that's, you got to find what you find interesting, like, oh, wow, I want to draw this. You got to want to know what, I kind of have a reason. That's why I kind of changed our question into why do you want to learn how to draw? If you have a why, the why will get you through the what and the how. If you have a purpose, the purpose helps with the progress, because you'll run into
Applies to a lot of things in life.
yeah.
Philosophically.
Yes, philosophically, yes. Yeah, because it'll
I remember I went to a picnic event when I saw the magician doing a magic trick.
oh, that's it. Wow.
And and I just pet a rabbit. It was a good show.
Super cool. Yeah, I love
When did you
magic.
see that, Joshua?
Yeah.
Where, Josh?
At the Riverside Park.
Ah, nice. I actually have been to the Magic Castle, so I've been fortunate.
One of my favorite spots in the world.
Isn't it? You get lost in that place.
Lots of magic there.
Yeah, I've been there twice. That's fun. Now, there's no thickness to this hat. I would probably add a thickness if you want to go advanced. You can put two vertical lines straight up and down right on the sides here, very little bit, very slight on the sides, and then add a thickness to this hat, to the brim, really, really slight. It really doesn't have one. And you can just add a little bit of a thickness if you'd like. If you don't, that's okay. It's all right. Choose yourself. You gotta, you gotta see what lane you're in and take on those challenges. Now here we go with the bottom part of the hat. Make sure to make that bottom part rounded. It does go straight here, and the rounded part, this is where a lot of students have trouble, is it does go around here. If you were to see it, it would continue. We're just taking that bottom part. And if it was made of glass, that's what it would look like. You'd see through it. Now we're taking that bottom part as well, and then we're bringing that up here and making that that little white part of the hat. Right, so we're gonna have to curve that as it goes around this form. And then let's clean up that up, and I'm gonna clean up this line, my little see-through part. There we go. And then we've got the white part of the hat. Oh, actually, ooh, it's colored backwards. So it's actually a white hat. And this, I'm sure this has a name, is dark. So it's actually going backwards. I'm gonna make my lines darker. You can go light until you feel it's right, and then go darker. So now I'm going to go darker here. Now, what's great about these forms is once you learn how to do them, you can actually draw from memory now. You can draw other things. You can make this into a can. You can make this into a candle. You can easily put a candle here. So, all these other forms, just by knowing how to do this, it could be a pen, a pencil. See, this could be a giant pencil now. It really, the only limitation is your imagination. And practice, really practicing and getting that skill going. So it could be a pencil, it could be so many things, right? So you have your 5 basic forms. The important ones are the cube. That's probably the most challenging one. The cube, the sphere, because these are spheres here. These are rounded shapes. You can add some shading here to make the cheeks a little more rounded. I'm gonna, and then you gotta think about where the light's coming from. There can be shadow here. I'm going to, let's try to keep it simple here. Try to keep this area here right under the rabbit light. And then this area out here dark. Now, actually, let's get into a little bit of shading theory. All right, so this is rounded. So what happens if you have a light hitting it here, it's not going to be flat. It's not going to be flat. And what depends on the light. It really depends on the light, how strong the light is. If it's a really strong light, you will get, a strong side. And a lot of times there's a reflected light or light that's bouncing. Light bounces everywhere. So usually here we have a reflected light, and it adds to the roundedness of this. So I'm gonna just go in here with an eraser and erase just a little bit right in there, just slightly that side. So that light is bouncing right there, and it adds to that roundedness. And the darkest dark would probably be just on the inside of that. That's the core shadow. And you have the reflected light that's bouncing there, kind of pushing that roundedness a little bit more. And then I'm gonna bring that this way. And the same thing on this side. You can add a reflected light on this side. Doesn't have to be white. It can be off-white. Be a little bit of shaded. There it is. And I'm gonna bring some of that shading down because it's rounded. The hat is rounded, and even though it's white, it's not always just completely straight white. And there we go. That's it. I think that's it. Let's actually make this a little bit darker and add a shadow to make it look like it's standing on something. I'm just gonna bring it down here at this angle here like that. Boom, like magic. It's standing on something, so I put a little bit of a shadow there. And there we go. There's our hat. Our first drawing after a while. Welcome back. Let's find another one. Oh, the boxes. It has a box. I'll take requests. So if you're looking at the book, actually, let's go to the book. All right, here we go. There's more cylinders. We have foreshortening with the cake there. Some boxes. See, this is important. The more you practice, the more you'll progress. This book is good. It's in the chat. If you want me to put it back in the chat, we can put it in the chat again. Foreshortened person. This is really cool. Drawing people more advanced. See, this is what I don't like about it. It really just jumps into some advanced stuff. You kind of have to pick and choose what level you're at. There's some bears, there's some pipes, which are really cool, tubes. That's a really fun project, and getting angles in space. Yes.
I like the furry lollipop. It looks like a truffle tree on the Lorax.
Oh yeah, furry lollipop. And it's a sphere. It's zoom in on that. Yeah, you want to go for that one? All right, let's do that one. That looks like it's a quick one. I might not even have to put it in the chat. Look, that's as close as I can get it. Let me see if I can get it any bigger. Oh yeah, there we go. That's it. All right, let's put it in the chat real quick. There's somebody. Ronaldo. There we go. Oh, actually, let me share somebody's work here. Leanna's work. Really nice. Let me put it here we go. Bam. Wow, look at that texture. Really nice. Wow.
And it's not really sketching, but we were practicing with some of that really thick acrylic. And I
Yeah.
actually led a class on this, and everybody had their little canvases. And then I had this silly thing, I didn't know what to do, and I kind of went wild with the framing.
Great. It really
Anyway,
it adds to it. It really
I've
adds.
been,
You really, I mean, there'll
Mhm.
be your composition flows
I've been
with it.
doing lots of weird stuff.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's creativity, you know. That's it. Dare to be creative because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But these everything you've shown me, your compositions are looking really good. The way you know, my eye flows through this and the way my eye looks up here at the sun and then comes back down with the contrast of the textures down here, and then the way you have it framed, my eye just this is like eye candy for me. My eye is just floating around this whole thing,
Mhm.
smooth framing. And then the
Yeah. And in person, it's pretty 3D because I have it all elevated and so on. So, you can see shadows.
yeah, that's awesome. Really nice piece. I love it. Awesome job.
Anyway, sorry.
And here we are, furry lollipop, furry lollipop. So
Yeah.
there we go. You can see an oval stick and the texture. The hard part is the texture. Notice the way it flows out, the flowing of this line, and then trying to make it actually. There's a little bit of shading, so it actually is more like a form of a sphere, So we'll just do this one really quick, and then I don't know if we want to go to the bear. We did actually drew some bears at. Another class this week, believe it or not, on my own. I do teach outside. Oh, this is a really good page right here because it shows you the from shapes to forms. It has the pencil, and then you do this on your own. You do these exercises on your own. So you make the crayon into a cylinder, or the glass into, that's probably the hardest one, glass into a 3D form. So really good stuff in this book. And we'll continue with it. The tires are really cool. Look at more cylinder stuff, more cylinder shapes. The tape, the cup, from 2D to 3D. Batteries, flat to three-dimensional. Really good form. All right, let's go back. Let's before we jump even further, let's get this furry lollipop, and we can do this really quick. There we go. There we go. I'm actually gonna even do it back here, or even right here. See, scale. We can do a little one or a big one. Once you have things that relate to each other, that makes a difference. So you can see really quickly, get that oval shape. Then we've got that, I'll zoom in a little bit. We've got the stick, the lollipop. Let's try to get them straight. There we go, our lollipop. And then it's inside another cylinder down here at the bottom. So the bottom here, even though it's really small, this is not straight, it's rounded right here. That little part is rounded. And then we'll put it inside, just like our hat here. We've got another cylinder, not cylinder, the oval shape, the ellipse, right in there, the top. That's like right on top, that ellipse. And then you've got that ellipse or that oval. And then you've got the sides. That gives you that thickness. I can go as far as long as I want, but this is just a little cylinder there. Make sure the bottom is rounded. Feel free to put stuff in the chat if you have a joke or anything, a comment,
Mhm.
question. Put it in the chat. There we go. And then, this whole stem has a little rounded little parts. So this is rounded almost like cross contour lines to make it more rounded all the way to the top. Now the hard part, it flows out. It flows out like this. So I'm just gonna exaggerate it a little bit so you can see how the little thing flows out. And then I'm just gonna continue with a little bit of shading and a little more flowing in and out. And it does this part right here. See that little this bottom half is dark. That gives it a little bit more roundedness. I'm going to bring it up lighter, and then just go ahead and add more of this furry lollipop. It reminds me of there's this modern art piece of a cup and saucer, but it has fur on it. Yeah, it's made of
It's
fur.
fun.
There we go. It's supposed to be surrealism. I think it was surreal. It was done by a lady. There we go. There's our furry lollipop. All right, let's jump back into our, that was a quick little detour. Again, it's about shapes. Looking for shapes. Got to practice, 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 and go at your own pace. If I'm going too slow, I'm sorry. You can speed it up. If I'm going too fast, I can try to slow it down. But let me know. Put it in the chat if you want me to repeat something. These forms are cool. The boxes. Boxes. Got to practice drawing those boxes. Boxes are everywhere. Your room is a box. Your table is a box. A cereal box. Okay, we have more cylinders there. Really nice. Yeah, this book is good. Again, it just jumps around and stuff. It's not really sequential. It doesn't talk about angles. It just does them. So you might struggle with it a little bit. There's a piece of cake. And look at it jumps from here and then here, all the stuff. Understand, do ribbons and scrolls. Those are fun. We've done this in the past. Ribbons. Those are fun. And really dealing with space. A really good book. So we're just going through the book, more ribbons. It really challenges you to think about the space, the American flag. 4th of July coming up next month. Human face parts, all the parts, the eyes and the nose. See that? Yeah. Definitely got, the more you practice. Yeah, it does kind of all right, let's find another. I'm trying to find cute drawings, cute cartoons. This is going a little more advanced than I'd like. Lips, ears. Let's just jump the eyes. Actually, this is pretty good. The proportions, where things go. And then jumps to that finished drawing. The human skull. I really like the way this is done. A little more advanced. Let's see, chapter 3. I don't know how they're organized. The perspective, more advanced. Let's jump to, I think there's this next one, aerial city. That's still perspective. This is 1-point perspective with the squares and shapes all going to one vanishing point. Your name, that's a fun project. I would do that with my students, the letters. Draw an iceberg, that's fun. Actually, why don't we do that one? Why don't we do that? Drawing an iceberg. All right, let's do an iceberg. Something in the chat. Let's see. Oh, Tad Peters is sharing something. Ah, there it is.
Ah,
There it is.
cool.
So that's the famous teacup, and our lollipop goes with it. All right. NPR, love it. Love NPR. Here we go. Let's all right, let's do our iceberg. Iceberg lettuce here. All right, let's go to a fresh sheet of paper here. All right, so the first part is getting that top of the iceberg, right? And really the iceberg is really just like a bunch of ovals, kind of like this, almost like a Mickey Mouse. See how I did that? But you can add an extra little oval in here. So that's just the top part. So I'm gonna connect all that. See those 4 ovals? Watch, I'm just going to connect it as one piece as it just kind of comes up and around and kind of, a little swirling here and there like that. And get it away from being Mickey Mouse ears. There's our top. And then now the sides. And this is, I don't know, students really struggled. You got to, so I'll try to be as clear as possible. See this brush here, as I gets closer, the first point it touches The first point it touches, that's the point where you want to go down. So the first point it touches, this is where you want to go down. And go down just a little bit. That's the thickness of this iceberg, right? Then we go again and until it hits this next spot. And this next spot, then it goes up and down about the same thickness. Then you keep going and kind of find interesting parts. This doesn't go in and out. If it would go in, let me see, I'm gonna go in and out, in and out. There we go. I'm gonna push it in a little bit. This really gives you a point, this point right here. See that little S shape I just created? This point right here, well, that is that part that comes down here. And this should be the same, vertical straight up and down. Here, this one doesn't go back. Although in the drawing it does. Mine don't. I can fix that, so I can push it back. But right there, that point going straight up and down, right from that edge, it has to be right that edge. I would get this. This is what I would get. I would get students go from here, from the middle. For some reason, and that's okay if you do. You got to understand that this part of the iceberg goes all the way to that edge. So this is not a good place to do that. So they had trouble seeing that part as far as students go. And then here we go. All we do is now we echo the top. So see how this curves around this way. So this curves around this way and hides behind there. And this curves forward. So this will curve forward and then back. See, so I'm just copying the top down here. There we go. And I'm going from right to left. Usually I go from left to right. And see this top part right here, this curves around almost like a whole cylinder. There's a whole cylinder right in here. See, that should curve around like this, right up there. See that big old thick iceberg. There's another little iceberg there, but we're not doing it on this drawing piece. There's a little iceberg. All right. Somebody find a picture. Post it if you want. Let me see. Let's see. This is a good resource. So I shared this resource. DJ. I know Ellen, we didn't post any pictures, and then I didn't really look for any. I did look for these books, and I'm working on trying to get more resources together for everybody. Ooh, a really nice rose. Swans.
I thought there was a new format, so I didn't post
It's all
anything.
good. It's all good. It's okay.
So you want post like normal?
If you'd like to post like normal, is fine. It is going to be a little bit different. So yeah, yeah, you can post. We're not going to be able to get to all of them because we're going to be doing just an hour and then take an hour break and then just get into group drawing. So yeah, the format has changed a little bit. I think we're going to draw this rose. We'll end up on this rose. It's on page 96. Well, let's finish this thing first here though. All right. So going back to our, I didn't post it. Okay. Going back, there is water that kind of echoes those little edges. So it kind of goes like this. There we go. Little echoes, little ripples. And then we also have a little bit of shading to add to that roundedness. Back in here where the light hides, it's hard for the light to bounce in there. And the light bounces right back at us, and here the light bounces away from us, so it's dark. There we go, a little bit of shading. And water. If you want to add some fish, you can add a little fish. Or we can do let's do a simple penguin. I'm just going to do a circle and then bring that down. Let's make it overlapping. There we go. Little tuxedo guy. So the little circle for the head. We got this little bullet shape. Then we've got, let's add little wings. Let's make him waving. Hello, save me. Global warming. Yeah, and that's the fun part, trying to tell a story with what you're drawing. And there we go. There's that. And I think I just a little bit of a beak. And the way this beak is, it's rounded on one side and then pointing on the other. That's a cone. That's what it is. A little bit of a cone. And then I'm just going to do two little dot eyes. There we go. Two little dot eyes. Yep. And it's the males that actually hatch the eggs. There we
They're
go.
also one of the most monogamous animals on Earth.
Awesome. Yeah. And then the pebble, the whole pebble thing. Do you know about the pebble?
The pebble.
Yeah, there's I guess the male gives the female a pebble.
Oh, how cute.
Yeah. There we go. All right, let's get to this, our last drawing. And we might make it a weekly thing, but right now we'll go to July. And then once we get back, because I know these hot months are a little bit harder to, right now this room is cool, but I know this room will heat up. I'm in a different room than I was for the last couple of years. All right, here we go. Let's go. We're gonna do this rows, scroll and rows. So you can see a little spiral there and then a little circle around it. We're gonna do this rose and this knight. And then, oh, there's a scroll around it. And the shading's a little soft. There's really no direction to this shading. I'm not crazy about it. So I might shade it a little bit differently. I'm just looking at it, but I like the drawing. The drawing's really nice. It has a nice style to it. Has a little spiral or scroll inside the rose as well. All right, so let's do that. Let's do that. All right, I'll actually, let me see which one should we put in the chat. I think I'll do that one. Are you going to teach from this book each week? No, I'm not going to teach from this book every week. I'm going to try to have different resources every week. We'll have different resources. So you can go on your own, or if you have questions about it. I'm not going to do all the drawings. You got to find what you enjoy and what you like. So yeah, but if I'll screenshot this, and then Ellen says she's going to probably upload pictures. Yeah, find stuff you like. We'll put it in there. There we go.
So Lotto, I have to leave in about 5 minutes or so before we start. Hopefully I can continue with the rows.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just letting the group know so that way, you know.
Sure.
I mean, I could easily put it in the chat and say bye, but
Thank you for joining us, and thank you for letting us know. And
oh my gosh, I'm having a grand time. I can't believe I feel like I got so much done in a short time with your group.
yeah, oh awesome.
Yeah. So before I go, if you want, I'll share whatever you inspired me to do.
Okay, sounds good. Let me stop sharing here, and that way I can spotlight you. Let's see.
Oh, thanks. Well, well, okay. Before I go, this is what you guys allowed me to do today,
Awesome.
right? Oh, can you see it?
Yeah. And you're drawing in a book.
Yeah.
Wow, that's nice.
So I combined the iceberg with the Lorax cotton candy tree, and it's getting like really magical feeling for me right there. I don't
Yes.
usually have the color, and then I added, this was a while back, but you read my mind with the penguin.
Awesome.
Yeah. So this whole book is inspired by you.
Oh, no way.
Yes, there's a ton of material that I did offline when I'm feeling like creative.
Uh-huh.
And I would channel, oh, Eladio's class into my mind. So during
Awesome.
the pandemic, when it was Easter, I would do something like this.
Very nice.
Yeah. And then I think there's a rose one. Let me see. So I don't know if oh no, it's not a rose like the one you're thinking of, but it's this kind of rose.
Okay. Very nice.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm using like different marker colors. Something I haven't done in a long while. So that's why I love your class. It really gets me back into the creative juices, it's
Yeah, and that's what the second hour, we're just gonna just go with it, it's really just making a commitment and just doing it, not being afraid of making mistakes and just going with the flow. And the more you practice, the more you'll progress. It's not about perfection, it's just about, expressing yourself and getting it out there and finding what you like and finding what you don't like and keep doing what you like and it's the journey, the life journey, right? It's the whole
oh,
life.
totally, totally. So I look at back to this book because it's also a journal of happy times that I'm like, wow, there was a space in my life where something poured out of me, and because of these kinds of groups, and it's very rare. There's not that many groups like this anymore.
Mhm.
And I try to look even. So I was like, oh, somehow your time frame does work occasionally, and then other times I'm like, oh, I have to do other things. Is why you don't see me as much,
Uh-huh.
right? But
Yeah.
somehow today worked, and then I'm like so happy that I got into this yet again, because now I'm like, I want to keep it going. So I
Yeah,
thank you for that very much.
oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. That's what we're here. We're here just to enjoy and create. And really drawings, like you said, they really take us back. Like I know, like this, I go through my sketchbook and I'm like, oh, I remember this and where it happened and this whole moment, this day actually was May 22nd and where I was and what I was thinking and feeling.
Yeah.
Just thinking
Oh,
back.
speaking of, real quick,
Uh-huh.
you just reminded me there was a International Women's Day. It's every year, but there was a particular day I actually got to draw this.
Oh, oh yes. Yes, nice. Let me see.
So this is really like something these things are like a little bit of challenges,
All
because I
right.
don't normally think of these things on my own, right? And then now I think about how you do it with prompts.
Uh-huh.
That's to me is like exciting.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome. Yeah, and it's taking on those challenges. Don't be afraid of the hard. Choose your hard. You got to choose your hard and stepping outside your comfort zone and that's the way you grow. That's the way you grow. Sometimes, that's it.
Yeah, truly. I would never think of drawing a magic rabbit today. And now that's all I want to draw.
Awesome. All right. Thank you for joining us. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Eladio. Cheers, everyone. Happy drawing. Good meeting you, Joshua, and everybody.
Thank
You
you.
too. Bye.
I'll see you guys in the next one.
All right. See you
Yeah.
next.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. All right, so we have our ellipse. We're going to start off with the ellipse. I'm starting off with a little bit different. I'm showing you how it's kind of made. It's kind of like like this old-fashioned kind of glass. It kind of it's almost rounded here. So you have your ellipse, your oval, and then here this part is this cup, this whole cup of this rose that kind of comes out like that. So that's the framework. That's kind of the framework that we need. And the leaves, the petals are going to go off of that. So here we go. Let's go. Now, what's really cool is I was looking and observing at some other flowers and actually, oh, I did paint them. I had given somebody some flowers and then let me see, I did draw them. Let's see if it comes up right away. I know it's not here. Here we go. It's in this program. Here we go. There they are. They were there. Where did they go? Oh no. Oh, there they are. So yeah, there it is. You can see this drawing here. So this is somebody's kitchen. And then you can see the roses there. There we go. And it's kind of like I was looking at the center part and really observing the flowers, even though this is just a scribble. I was really observing the flowers, and that's what I'm looking at this now and seeing the halfway point. So here, this halfway point, there's our ellipse, and this halfway point, right under that is where that spiral starts, or right there. So here's the halfway point, and right under that halfway point, we're going to spiral out. So watch this. Right under that halfway point, we're going to go up and spiral a little past that halfway point, and then around onto this outside. There we go, like that. So it's kind of like the letter E or C. It looks like the letter C, and then it just comes up around, up onto that line, and then back around and up. There we go. But notice it's in the bottom half. It's in the bottom half. All right. There we go. Now let's do the inside parts, kind of like the we just did the iceberg. The iceberg, there's one side and the other side right there. And very similar to the ribbons that are drawn on this book. And one more, I think over here, I'll just do one over here. And there's the inside of our rose. We have one petal that cuts across right in here. So it cuts across right to the center, right to the middle. So it goes from here to the bottom. And I always like to talk about relationships. So this is like at 6 o'clock. Here's a clock, 6 o'clock at the bottom. Then it goes up and over, touches that edge. Then it goes out like a banana. This curve, this little petal, little banana shape. It goes right in here. It actually comes down to a point. A little point not here. It's a little more rounded. There it is. There's that petal. Noticing where it starts, where it stops, how it relates. There's one petal. Then we've got another petal back here. Backpedaling. A little backpedaling. Back here, there's a big one. And then there's another one that fits right in there. And then another one. Oh, some overlapping. So let's see. Now this overlapping is hard to see on this one, but definitely on this one, you can see that this petal actually starts behind on this side. It goes around this way. See, so there's a little bit of overlapping. So if it were to continue, you'd see it like that. But no, we're not making it continue. That was just an example. So erase that. Erase, erase. There it is. It butts up against this is behind that petal. There we go. And then we've got another petal that sticks out here like a shark fin. Looks like a little shark fin. It goes from here. I'm seeing it go from here to here. See, I'm seeing these 2 points right in here. These 3 points. These are 3 points. This is where it starts. This is where it stops. And then this is the middle. The middle is going to come out here. It looks like a triangle. See those three points right there? And I can see those 3 points. Those are 3 key points. The top one curves out like a little shark fin to that point. And then this one kind of put a little bit of curve on it and then comes back in to that other point. There it is. Those 3 points really help. That's it. There we go. Probably, yeah, that's not bad. And then we've got 2 more petals and we're almost done, believe it or not. All right, so I'm gonna go darker with my outside here and make it a little bit darker. There, a little bit darker. And then we'll get into the shading. Ooh, shading, advanced stuff. All right, let's zoom out a little bit. There we go. And then we've got our 2 petals. So these 2 petals this kind of looks like the letter E. I can break it into parts. There's kind of like an oval here and then another little oval here. There's like 2 parts. There's a big oval here. It's good to try to see it in parts. There's one circle and another circle, or oval and a circle. So then I would see where it starts right about here, maybe a little bit lower. I can see where it starts there and then probably stops. Yeah, that's a good spot right there. And I can see it's going to go around here. I see that little structure that I put, and I can just go around those little circles that I drew. See? And it helps keep that form. It gives you a solid drawing. Solid makes it solid, gives it structure. All right. So if you're new, shapes are everywhere. Shapes. Look for shapes. Practice drawing shapes. Everything's made up of shapes. Here's a little, especially circles and squares. Look for those circles and squares everywhere. There we go. And then here we got another oval down here. Another oval up there. I can kind of see those 2. And then now I'm going to connect them. This one starts maybe up here, as I can see it start right there. Go around, in, and then out, and then attach. Kind of like butterfly wings. The top one's a little bit bigger, rounder. There we go. That looks good. And then we got a stem, or I don't know, what is that? Kind of in between, could be a little oval. And then the stem. Which way does the stem go? What does the fox say? Here we go. So the stem kind of goes out at an angle. And just let it go out from here to out. And there's no, it's actually really thin. You can do it any thickness you'd like. But every rose has its thorn. Right. Every cowboy sings a sad, sad song. Every rose, there we go, has its thorns. If you take the good, you take
Is
the
that a
bad.
song?
Yes,
I'm
it
sorry.
is.
I've never heard it. Let's hear it. Go ahead and sing.
Yeah. Gosh, you're putting me on the spot. Let's see. I mean, I don't actually. I think it's every rose has its thorns. I think. Let me see. Yeah, it's poison. We both lie silently still in the dead of the night. I don't know. I don't know. Every rose has its thorn, just like every night has its dawn. Just like every cowboy sings a sad, sad song, every rose has its thorn. No karaoke tonight. I don't know the song. Not too. Every cowboy has a sad, sad song. Yeah. Like a knife that cuts you, the wound heals, but the scar remains. Yeah. Yep. There we go. How about Delta Rose? Delta Rose. Is that a song? I don't know. I don't know Delta Rose.
Yes, that is a song.
Yeah, okay. Let me see. I don't put any more songs because YouTube will cut it. One too many. Oh, I think Delta Rose is a band. Or is there a song?
There is Delta Rose. What's that flower you have on? Could it be a faded flower from days gone long gone? That is a song.
Okay.
YouTube would cut it if you sang.
No, if I play it. Oh, yeah. What's that flower you have on? It's in the 70s, huh? I think that's an old song. That one? In a younger days, they called probably, we'll see if they find it. They do. They can actually they give me a choice to block it out. All right, we're almost there. Now the shading part. We'll end this drawing and then come back that second hour with the How to Draw book, the second book. So if you want to take a look at it on your own, go at your own pace. Let's do our own shading though. And I just lost. I think I lost. Oh yeah, I did. Here we go. I think I changed the page. Yeah. All right. I'll just do it on my own. All right, so let's see. Okay, here comes the shading. Here comes the shading. And I lost the picture, but that's okay. We'll start from the center. We want contrast is what we want. We want contrast. This is the icing on the cake. So drawing, you want to practice your drawing. And then here comes the icing. So we're going to go from, let's start with the center. I want contrast. So I'm going to think about how I want this to stand out. So I'm going to have, let's start with this side here. I'm going to go dark here. And then I'm going to slightly lighten it up as I come in here. And just shade this. And then come here and start going dark again as it comes around. So it's a little bit darker on the ends. It's still shaded the whole thing. It's a little flat. That's okay. I'm going to start shading the sides here, this side. I'm just going mostly up and down, shading as it gets darker right here at the ends. And this is a good gradient. It's a good gradient. It's because it's a gradual change because it's rounded. The light kind of diffuses and kind of shades rounded. So it goes rounded. So now I'll have this really nice light right in the middle. And I have a contrast there already. So I can probably just go a little bit darker on the sides and bring it down. Try to keep the top a little bit light. I'm going to try to keep that top light right there. And just on the sides, go darker. So there's contrast. And I can still actually even go on the top of this and go darker away from it if I need that contrast. Because I really want that to pop. Notice how it does pop a little bit. I can leave that here alone as well. Make that pop. really conscious as far as how I'm shading this so there's contrast. So it stands out. If you really want contrast, shading it so you don't see the lines, that becomes a rendering. It really becomes a rendering because then you can see I can shade really dark on this side and these lines disappear. They go into an edge. They become an edge. See, there we go. And I have a little bit of a reflected light. You can see a little bit of reflected light. Let me zoom in. I don't know, it's hard to see. I see there's a little bit of reflected light, the different values. And same thing here to make this stand out. So I'm going to skip a little space right in there and then shade again. And that's right in there. See, that reflected light adds to it. So it's going to be dark right here, and then here it's going to be dark, and then I'm going to lighten it up as it comes out this way. And then darken it up again, but not as dark as that background, but mostly at the bottom, this bottom part. So there's contrast. I can still darken this top part right in here, this part. So I'm really focused on trying to keep contrast, a difference, showing the difference. Because if I have it all shaded one color, it would be flat and you wouldn't see the difference. You'd have a polar bear in snow, or you'd have a, what is it? Black on black. All right, there we go. That's the center. Let's zoom out. There we go. Let's let's draw these petals. These petals again, same thing, a little bit darker on the inside, and then soften them up because they round it as they go out. Just go out. There we go. And then shade the inside. And here, this is the light part of the inside part. So you probably can get more contrast by going a little bit darker right in that edge, right on that edge. See, I'm getting rid of that line. That line kind of disappears. That line of that edge right there, it becomes an edge. And then I'm going to slowly just bring it up. And it gets lighter as it goes up. Lighter as it goes up. Trying to have a gradient. Turn my phone off. And then this one goes underneath, so this would go dark on this side. I can actually even add a little bit of a shadow as it goes underneath that other petal. See that? Yeah, you can see that. So here's dark, here's dark. This is darker than this. This is here almost the same value, but here it's lighter and there's darker. You got to really think about that contrast. All right. Let's put a little bit of shadow under. I'm going to focus on this cup side of the this rose. This whole bottom part right here can be shaded. And that's flat. I just shaded this flat. Trying to get it as smooth as I can. Right there. You need to rub it. You can rub it with a tissue or your finger. How about, yes, sir. That was it. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of I flattened that shadow right there side. I'm going to add a little bit of a shadow, a little bit more. So I'm going to go a little bit darker. I'm building up my shading. We usually don't do shading. This is more advanced stuff. Something you don't usually worry about because it takes longer. You want to do more drawing, practice your drawing. I had there's a little bit of a glow right there, slight glow. Could be reflected light. I'm rounding this out. So it looks like there's a football shape right in the middle. You can kind of see it a little bit. This football shape. This side is that rounded shadow part. And then this is a shadow from the petal on top. And then I can soften this up. I can actually, soften this. So there's a little bit of a gradient in there, that football shape. Maybe a little bit darker on this side and keep that. Now I'm going to go on this side and try to keep that little reflected light. Try to keep that reflected light and go dark. And then bring it out. And I'm shading flat because it's quicker. But sometimes you want to think about the form of it and shade in that direction. I am shading just flat. This whole thing just flat. That whole petal flat. I can round it out now a little bit. Go dark right at the edge. See, it's all flat, one shaded, one shade. Now that I have it flat, one shade, I can go darker right against here, right? Especially right against that edge where you get some occlusion where the light doesn't come in as much. Yeah, and do some value studies. Do some value studies. There we go. See that little reflected light, little bouncing light in there. Gives it a little definition. There we go. And I can maybe shadow a little bit here, pushes this back, gives it almost like an earlobe, a little bit darker right in there, controlling these values. Maybe a little bit on this petal that's sticking out slightly right in there. There we go. This side. And then over here. This side's a little bit lighter, but you can see the difference. Notice how this petal pops just with this little slight shading that I put on top of that rose petal. Let's shade this bottom part. And here we go. Let's zoom out a little bit. Not too shabby. Here we go. This center part. I'm going to shade this part here. And I just got rid of that line. That line became an edge that was right here. If you can, the more you can do that, the more your drawing becomes a rendering, which is a more realistic way of drawing. See, there we go. So you got rid of that line. And then see this line right here, that line, I can get rid of that line by making the petal below it kind of eat it up. It kind of eats it up. See right in there. Then I can go lighter. But you see that line is gone. That line that was there is now an edge. Out here, you can still see the line, but here it's an edge. Let me zoom in on that so you can see the difference. And I wouldn't worry about this so much. This is just this is the icing on the cake. I know everybody wants their drawings to look nice, but when you're first learning to draw, you should focus on shapes and focus on value, then coloring. That comes after. You really, the more drawings you do, the more you practice, the more you're gonna progress. The faster you'll progress, and the more you'll see, like, oh, okay, don't worry. Next. All right. That looks pretty good. Let me thicken this up. And I think there's a ribbon on there, another one, but I think we're going to keep it like that. All right, there's our last drawing for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We went to an extra 20 minutes. We'll see you. Actually, if you want to continue drawing, I will stick around. And you can draw. We'll start up again at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, we will start up again. So feel free to draw. Feel free to stick around. And I will take a break till 8 o'clock, stretch, and do stuff like that. Thank you for joining us. And that's it.